Hi, I'm Marissa. I'm Dawn. We're from LA, and you're watching KingsCast.
All right, so Trey, we just finished the first preseason game. Kings won 4-3. What did you think of the game?
Awesome, very awesome. I think we are ready for the regular season. I am looking forward to this one because I believe this is definitely our year. I just feel it inside of me right now. We've been winning for quite like almost 44 years so now.
It's been a long time.
Oh, exactly.
How long have you been a Kings fan for, Trey?
Definitely almost going on 10 years almost.
Wow, a long time. So Trey is pretty much a glutton for punishment.
Exactly. So, but one thing I also like to say, I also like to take the time to remind Montreal that we still haven't forgotten what you did to us back in '93.
That's right.
And, it's all, in the past, but if you guys do decide to show up, we'll be waiting for you.
So Habs fans, we're coming for you, says Trey.
Exactly.
What is the biggest difference this year between last year?
With the team, I think it's a really close group of guys. Not that we weren't close last year, but I think it's a good group of guys, a talented group of guys, a good mix of veterans and young guys, just with a lot of talent. And I think everybody's really hungry, especially to get back in the playoffs.
Now, the big thing that the Coach Murray's been talking about this year is sort of team unity. And now, you guys friends, and you guys hanging out a lot afterwards, after the games. You guys hanging out on the weekends, when you're not playing a game.
I think so, especially with the younger guys that are single or that are not married. You're all kind of out here away from your families and stuff. So the team is kind of your family. So you spend a lot of time stuff like that. And it's a close group of guys, and take care of each other,
Who do you live with?
Scott Price.
Oh, okay. It's convenient. You guys are paired together here today as well. Who's your favorite player growing up?
I was always a big fan of Adam Foote for Colorado there. Just kind of liked the way he played. Gritty, tough, guy who could play, shut down or be a power play guy. Like, he was pretty versatile. Slowed down a little bit now, but he's still a good player.
And hey, he's still playing with the captain they have, so thanks a lot, Davis. Appreciate it.
Matsuda of Frozen Royalty, member of the Professional Hockey Writers Association and writer for HockeyTalk.biz. Gan Matsuda, how you doing today?
Good, Keith.
Excellent. So Gan, how'd you get started?
Well, it's kind of funny. I just pretty much started as a fan, writing for a number of different online services back in the days of the old Genie and eWorld and whatever, National Video
Old school.
Network. Yeah, real old school stuff. This is the days of bulletin boards and 2400 baud modems.
Right. Is Marty addressing anything in the offseason, or is he just going to, wait for somebody to go on waivers for a supply?
To be honest, the Kings have so much flexibility in what they can do. And he does recognize, because he said this to me, he does recognize there's a hole on the left side. He knows that. Okay. By the same token, though, he does think that even if he doesn't add anyone in the offseason, that if his team gets into top physical shape, they can be a playoff team.
But isn't that a Dean Lombardi answer? I mean, let's face it. I think the team's a hell of a lot better than they used to be. Are we going to add someone good? Do you get that impression from him?
I didn't address that yesterday because, again, we're only a couple weeks from the draft, and he's not going to want to tip his hand about anything before now or even July 1st. So I knew better than to get into that with him because I'm not going to get a great answer anyway.
Wow, so this has got to be the greatest sort of tribute to the mullet that I've ever seen. So tell me about this picture.
This picture I actually acquired back in the Forum days at the Great Western Forum. It was back probably early 90s. The picture actually celebrates the kind of the living legends who've actually been fortunate enough to actually score 50 goals in 50 games.
And the mullet.
And the mullet. It actually has the autographs of Brett Hall, Wayne Gretzky, and Mario Lemieux on it. So it's a very classic piece. I was very fortunate enough to go ahead and purchase this back quite some time ago, and actually have no desire whatsoever to actually get rid of it.
Yeah, it looks like it's 56 out of 1,000. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let me ask you had to get naked on Deadwood now.
I did, but hey, I was naked on an Emmy-winning show. I mean, come on now.
No, hey, I got nothing wrong with it. I guess what the fans out there want to know, and then we'll get into you a little bit, is I think you should get naked for KingsCast right now. How about it?
I would love to if it wouldn't get me thrown out.
Awesome. I lost a bet today to Rock Arts on Twitter. Link him up. He's a good guy. And I bet that the Kings would beat the Oilers, and they didn't. So I got a chug of beer. So here we go. Coors Light, my fave. Enjoy. Okay, well, let's finish it. Cheers to you, Rock Arts, and the dough.
Who could that be? I told you never to bet against Captain Canada. And oh yeah, by the way, why does that Keith Cornelluck guy keep talking about me on his show all the time?
So, John, Philly has sort of their own sort of playoff push going on right now. Do you see them making the playoffs in a little less competitive East?
I do see them making the playoffs. I mean, and their goaltending situation is like some sort of bad soap opera with people getting killed every 2 seconds, you know. But yeah, I do see them making the playoffs. As for getting past the first round, that's the real test. I mean, Boucher did it in 2000, but that was 10 years ago. So I don't see them advancing too far past the first round. I mean, there's a lot of the top teams in the East are really strong, I feel like. So
Yeah.
What we gotta say to the Canucks is one for me and one for my homies. Woo!
So at the heart of it, you are Canadian, you are a hockey fan. What's, from your perspective, going around the league right now, who has the best fans?
What I've seen this year is St. Louis, and it was a big shock to me because I kind of, in my head, had chalked St. Louis up to being like a generic kind of hockey rink. But the fans were actually really loud. I mean, they were loud in New York as well, but their team was shut out and they were spitting their faces off, and I don't often see that.
It's a good sign for fans, definitely.
What's different about hockey? Because you don't really hear about that in other sports. It's not like a basketball bunny or a football bunny. Why is it there's this definition for hockey?
My theory is that there's a lot more culture around hockey than there is with other sports. I think when you get into the Canadian culture around sports, it's basically just hockey. So it's hockey all the time. It's on every corner. It's in everything. But I think in the States that football turns into basketball, turns into baseball, and then baseball turns into basketball. So I think there's always something going on.
So, Kings fans, if you are a subscriber to the show and you've watched it from the beginning, you'll notice that there's a lot of things that are sort of repeated. But we had an idea, as a good sort of summer activity.
Yeah.
That why not make watching KingsCast a drinking game? I mean, it just makes sense.
It really does. It really does. Content will be sparse, so why don't you start tomorrow from episode number 1, or the first promo, and kind of take one at night and make that a drinking game. 62 days of drinking is our gift to you. And how do we start that off, Chris?
Okay, so basically, you cue up the show, start from the beginning, and anytime Keith says, boom, or absolutely,
and anytime Chris says, or back check,
you're gonna go ahead and take a shot. Or chug a beer. Either one. Sort of like Hour Power kind of thing. I guarantee you that you will be wasted.
Yeah.
So, get the friends together, get the family around.
Absolutely.
Play some KingsCast drinking games. It's summer.